Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Sometimes stories come up, and I want to tell a different story, and I'll try to record something else. But my heart and my mind take me back to the story that I'm trying not to tell. Today is one of those days. I was in graduate school. My housemate, Bernita, and I were going to pick someone up. We were sitting in the car out in front of one of the dorm buildings, and suddenly this loud noise erupted. I looked to my right and I realized there was a man yelling at a woman and putting his finger in her face like that. She was obviously frightened and backing away, but he kept moving forward and he raised his hand in preparation to hit her. And within an instant, I didn't question it. I didn't wonder about it. I didn't think this guy is big. I was out of the car and between him and her. I remember hearing my housemate yelling, "No." And there was nothing that stopped me from moving. There was nothing, I could not stop myself. There was something in me that compelled me to stand in front of that woman. I don't know how I moved so fast. I don't know how I did, but he stopped what he was about to do and began to yell at me. And I turned to the young woman and said, "Get in the car. Get in our car right now." And she looked at me as if to say, "I don't know you." And I was thinking, "You know him, and he's the problem. Get in the car right now." And she went to get in the car, and Bernita had gotten out of the car and was with this young woman, comforting her. And this young man began to yell at me and say, "You don't know what's going on, and you don't know what's happening." And I said, "I know, but you're not going to hit her while I sit here watching." At this point, other people came up and other people got involved, and there were other young men who began to pull him away, and he got louder and louder and louder. And I just remember that I couldn't let this happen. There was no bravery involved. There was no sense of doing the right thing. It was just an instant reaction. Was it wise? Probably not, but it was what happened. I told the story to my family, and I remember my mother kind of chuckling. And I thought, "What's so funny?" And she said, "You're like your grandmother." She could never stand to hear a woman being abused. And they told me the story about how my grandmother got a shotgun. She had a shotgun. She pulled it out and she shot at this man who had been beating his wife. And she didn't hit him. And afterwards, after as they say, the constable came, this man came back and said, "Miss Caroline, you tried to shoot me." And she said, "No, I didn't try to shoot you. I tried to scare you. If I wanted to shoot you, I would have." Now, this story is really fascinating for many reasons. My grandmother was blind, and when the constable came around, she had taken her rifle apart and given one piece to one neighbor and another piece to another neighbor, and was standing in the doorway going, "You know I can't shoot nobody." My mother said that that thing, that rage, that righteous indignation that flew up in me was the same thing that would fly up in my grandmother. I don't know if I've inherited this or where it came from, but in that instant, I knew that you can't watch as bullies terrorize others. We've been watching for too long. We've been sitting silently waiting for someone to say something, hoping that someone would say something or do something to stop the bullies from terrorizing the land. We are the someone, and sometimes it's a soft answer that turns away wrath. Sometimes it's standing between the oppressor and the oppressed. Sometimes it's comforting that person who has lost their sense of self, reminding them of who they are. And sometimes it's simply saying, that's just not right. I don't know who this story is for or why it came up, but I hope if you are in harm's way and that if you are bullied, that you would let someone know that you need some help. And if you are watching the bullying, whether if it's at your home, on your job, in the store, speak up. There's more of us than there is of them, and it's time we take the truth. I love you.